Welcome to Circuit Clerk Presents. Today we have a very interesting show because it's going to tell you about ways to get free legal advice. Now, as you know, if you've ever done with done any business with any of the 102 circuit clerk offices in the state, you know that there's one thing we can't do. We can give you the forms, we can give you the ink pens to fill out the forms, we can arrange a time for you to be with a judge. We just can't give you any legal advice. And as a matter of fact, we're not even allowed to tell you what to fill in the blanks with on any of the forms we have. And that's all mandated by state law. But there's a new development, and it's something we're proud to be a part of, and we're going to talk about on today's show. It's called our Self-Help Center, and we have a guest from the Legal Self-Help Center. His name is Mr. Joe Dailing. He is with the Illinois Coalition for Equal Justice. Sir, what a pleasure to see you again.
Good to meet you.
We are the proud recipients, if you will, of a computer system in our lobby, and the main purpose of this computer system is to allow any resident that comes up to access that, and we also have it on our website that they can access it, and they can actually ask questions or view frequently asked questions that actually give them legal advice.
Well, strictly speaking, it's legal information.
Okay.
They'll have to make the decision as to how they use it.
All right.
But it's legal information in 26 areas of civil law. Doesn't cover any criminal, little traffic, but basically it's all civil law.
Now so people who have a question about, gee, I can't afford an attorney, or I don't want an attorney for some reason, I want to get divorced, what about child support? It's topics like that, is it not?
Exactly. It's fairly common, simpler civil legal problems. And family law is obviously a very big part of that.
Now, you and your colleagues, I assume, reviewed these questions, the most commonly asked questions, and came up with legal responses that are designed to help people navigate their way through the court system.
Right.
And there's no charge for this.
Right.
And it's a fairly easy thing to do. So as an example, rather than giving our viewers all of the information to contact you, you're from the Rockford area.
Correct.
We appreciate you coming down. They can just go to the Sangamon County Circuit Clerk.org website, which we're going to go ahead and flip to now, so you'll be able to see what we see on our little laptop that's here. And we're going to give you, Mr. Dailing is going to give you kind of a tutorial here, if you will, on our Illinois Legal Aid online system. So, Joe, take it away. What do we got?
As you can see, when you go to the Circuit Clerk's website, the first thing on the list is Illinois Legal Aid Online. And when you click on that, you'll come to the home page for the Sangamon County Legal Self-Help Center. And you'll see on this page are the hours of operation, and they're the courthouse hours, and the location in the courthouse. Now, what I want to say also is that because this is internet-based, anyone can access this from their home computer or from a public access computer at the public library or anywhere else. So you just have to go to the Sangamon County Circuit Clerk's website, and then you'll click on that and come to the page. Now, on the front page are 6 topics that have been selected by the local planning committee when we were setting this up as sort of the most common problems that people were coming into court without an attorney. And across the state and across the country, there's been, as anyone knows in any courthouse who works there, there's been a great increase in the number of unrepresented litigants. And so, as a result, in 2005, we did a survey and found out that actually only, particularly among lower income people, only 1 out of 6 people actually had access to a lawyer, and the rest of them had to fend for themselves. And so Illinois Legal Aid Online, which developed this website, was part of the answer to that question. So you can see these 6 topics, and then at the bottom you also see another topic, another bar which you can click, which will take you to the Illinois Legal Aid on homepage, which will then you can do, and I'll show you how that works as well. So here are the 6 topics. If you find that what you're interested in is not on here, you can click on this.
And those,
okay.
I was going to say, those 6 topics are probably the most asked kinds of questions that we'll get here, but these will cover most of the other ones you've got here. Okay,
right.
What you got?
Okay, so you see the home page here, and here you have it, what's your legal problem? And you can put in, it's not necessarily to put in a sentence, but to put in fairly simple language about what your problem is. So if your problem is child visitation, you can put that in, and I'll show you how the search works. You have to pardon my...
You're doing better than I could.
Well,
All right. Child visitation. So you would put in the key words of what it is you're looking for.
all right. And then you would put in the zip code for Springfield, or your zip code, which is?
Try 62702. Now, why would a zip code be important?
Good question. It's important because it clarifies and links you to certain information that's available for this area. So if you put in a Chicago zip code, for instance, you'd get the Chicago landlord-tenant law, which is very different than the forcible entry detainer in the rest of the state. So it's important to do that.
Right. There might be area-specific rules that we have to follow here. Okay.
Exactly. And here, if you don't know how to use the site, there's a short video that will talk to you about using the site.
Mm-hmm.
So, and down here is one other thing that I want to point out, and that is that if you get stuck on this, you can do the click to chat, and there are law students from the 9 law schools around the country who have signed up to help people find information on this website.
Fabulous.
So that's also...
And that's free.
That's free
Okay.
as well. The whole thing is free. Mm-hmm. This is aimed at the legal problems of lower income people.
Right.
And then also, if you wanted to do it in Spanish, there are some materials in Spanish. The whole website is not in Spanish, but in the next year that's going to happen.
Okay.
So you've got your child visitation and your zip code, and so you click to this.
Oh, that was how to find your zip code. Okay.
All right. We'll go back.
So would you just hit search then?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's hit.
There we go.
Still. All right.
All right, so we're going to search the topic child visitation.
All right, and now this is what comes up. The results are here. There are 362 results.
Wow.
It tells you what you search for up here, child visitation. And right now it's showing 5 examples. You could increase it to 10 or 25 or 50. So you can see here, here's an example of what you're going to find. And then you can go through here and look and see exactly what you're looking for. Do you want to set specific visitation days? Do you want to find out frequently asked questions? You want to get child visitation rights, getting custody of a child? How do I modify my visitation order?
This is fantastic.
No, thank you. Now you'll notice that some of these have a guide me next to them, and I will demonstrate that in a minute. Where there is nothing after it means it's a text article.
Okay.
So it's
just an informational thing. Okay.
And guide me, I'll show you in this one. Let's see.
How to get a court order with specific visitation days, as an example. Okay.
Now this is what we call a guide me, and it's bundled content. So what we don't want people to do is simply go to a court form without understanding, first of all, whether this is the right place for them to be, and also how to fill out the form. So they have some information when they go through this. And notice up here, the click to chat is here,
still
the live
available.
help, and then up here, it shows you again what you research for in this zip code.
Okay.
So this is the introduction, and then you go to common questions. And in these common questions, you can go through them individually, or you can take one at a time and then go back or skip around or whatever you want. You also have the capacity for printing all of these questions.
Fantastic.
And then down at the bottom are some helpful organizations. And in Sangamon County, of course, Land of Lincoln would be the primary organization for low-income people. So that's available as well.
And the interesting thing about this is that these are legal questions that you can get, or serious legal help that you can get right here, because people don't realize that just because you are a citizen, you do have the right to represent yourself, a pro se litigant, but if you go to court, the court is going to expect you to be familiar with your case and what it is that needs to be done while you're in the presence of the judge. So they're not going to tolerate monkey business. You need to go in there prepared, and this will help you do that.
Exactly. And so wherever possible, people can get an attorney. We want them to get an attorney. If they're a victim of domestic violence, they can go to Sojourn. If they can, if they're low income, they can go to Land of Lincoln. they've got some money, they can try the Illinois Lawyer Referral Services
Right.
the State Bar runs. So this is always a last resort.
Okay.
So you go through the questions and find out that, in fact, this is the right place for you to be.
Okay.
And then, right now, in this particular one, this is under construction, so there are no forms and letters available.
Okay.
But you can go to this last one, and this is related articles. And now here's another example of what's happening. This is a going to court on your own, and after it says video. So that means there's a video there that explains to people what happens, who are the people in court, how to talk to the judge, how to dress before the court, all that sort of thing. So we can go to we can go to another one, modify my visitation order. Again, this is the same format.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we get to forms and letters, here are some forms for modifying the visitation order. Now this is a PDF, which means it's a fillable PDF, and we'll show you that.
So in some cases, you actually have forms on this system that people can fill out, print, and then take to court.
Exactly, exactly. And this is a little slow.
That's probably our system, not yours. Okay.
But notice also that in this particular one, there are also instructions about what to do once you get it. So, like any computer, sometimes it takes a little time.
Sure. And there's a lot of information there that it's gathering for you. Okay, we've obviously got a problem there. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a break here in a minute, but I get really excited about a program that really fills the gaps that the circuit clerk's office has, because every day people are saying, well, can't you give me advice on how to fill this out, how to do this with the court? And we're saying, no, I'm sorry, we can, and it's a state law that we can't. But this really fills that gap for us and makes us more of a full-service agency.
Right.
And it's with help of super people like you that are going to allow us to do that. We're going to come back, talk about more information, more form filling out, and more brochures and things that will help you navigate your way through the court system when we return. Welcome back. We're talking about the Legal Self-Help Center that's situated either on our website at Sangamon County Circuit Clerk.org or in the lobby of the Sangamon County Circuit Clerk's office at 200 South 9th Street in the County Building. We have a guest today, Joe Dailing, who represents the Illinois Coalition for Equal Justice, and he's here giving us a demonstration. And Joe, we're going to start talking about the forms that come built in with this system. Again, this is legal advice. Is that a proper way to say it?
No, legal information.
Legal information, and you corrected me before. Legal information that people can access for free. It's going to cover the basic or the most common questions that you might have, and it'll help you navigate your way through the court system. On your brochure, and I'd like to take just a second to read some of these things because they really drive the point home and why these forms are important. Right here on your own brochure, it tells you how to essentially present yourself in court. And here's what it says. The judge is not there to help you with your case. You have to be ready to handle it on your own. The judge will treat you like a lawyer during the court hearing and will not give you any breaks because you are not a lawyer. If you do not know something legally, it is not an excuse or defense to your case. And your court papers must be prepared so that they follow all court rules and orders. And that's what this system does.
Exactly.
Okay, so now that we're back on track here, let's continue with your presentation, sir.
Okay, let me give you an example of one of the things we have that Illinois Legal Aid Online has developed, and it's called an automated form. And if you think of TurboTax, that's what this form is like. So we're going to click on the order protection.
Okay.
And you see, once again, we'll come across with the different parts of the information on the Guide Me, the common questions. We're going to go right now to the forms and letters so that you can see. And here you have, first of all, you have this document that you can print out that says Information Checklist for Illinois Orders of Protection, which means you can gather the information ahead of time so that when you begin using the automated form, you have the information there. So, for instance, if you have children and you're victim of domestic violence and you want them protected at their school, you need to know the name of the school and the address, and that needs to be in the documents.
Okay.
Your work address, that sort of thing. So we're going to skip that and go right to the form. Now, these forms are not on this particular computer or in the courthouse or anywhere. They're stored on a server that's located in Colorado,
okay,
which has the same kind of security that a bank has. And there are a couple of ways. It's called Law Help Interactive as a group, and you can do a number of things which we'll talk a little bit about. But if you want to, you can sign up and save your work. All you need is an email address or something that looks like an email address and a password, so that no one else can access your information. But you can also just get started, and that's what we're going to do. So when we click Go, it's going to take us to the terms of use. And of course, you have to
agree.
You have to agree to them. It's not for commercial use. It's for lower-income people and legal aid programs, that sort of thing. So you agree to that, and if you don't agree, obviously it won't go forward. And then you press Continue. And what you're going to get at this point then is you're going to get the beginning of a structured interview that will guide you through the process for developing the order protection petition and generating the orders for the judge to sign. And sometimes, because it's on a national server, it may take a little bit of time.
Right.
The first series of questions are you qualified to use this interview? And so there are certain requirements in the law to file an order of protection in a particular county, and we're just going to go through those very quickly. So the first thing you need to do is you need to determine the county, and this lists all the counties in Illinois, and we're going to go up to, obviously, Sangamon.
Okay.
Okay, and as soon as you've entered that, then you get the next question. And you have 5 things here. That you live in the county, that the person you're filing against is in the county, the abuse took place, or you're here temporarily to avoid abuse elsewhere, and none of the above. Now, if you click none of the above, I'll show you what happens. So, and then you try and go forward, and it tells you that Sangamon County does not have the legal power to do an order of protection. So then we'll go back and we'll answer it correctly. So we'll say, I live in the county. As soon as you answer that, then you get the next question, which talks about the relationship. Because to get an order of protection, there has to be some sort of relationship between the people.
So this keeps you on track, so to speak.
Exactly.
Okay, it forces you to complete it in the proper way here. Okay.
And so we'll click spouse, and then you can see that here, this list of questions begins to populate. And all of the ones with red check marks are questions that you must answer that are required by the law. And if you don't answer them, then you won't be able to go forward.
Okay.
And at the end, you'll go to the end. Let's finish. Well, it actually wants me to answer more questions.
Right, since we didn't answer it.
But at the end, you'll go to the end. It will say Get Documents, and then it will print out all the documents that you need with all the information in it. So if your name appears in 3 places, you've only typed it in once.
So that's nice. So you would take that completed document along with your other information that I would assume it would advise you to do to complete, and you take that to court with you, and then you have just...
We bring it to Circuit Clerk's office to file, and it would tell you to bring more than 1 copy.
And it's a legal document that just like a lawyer would have drafted up.
Right, right.
Interesting.
And so we're going to go back.
Now, what this system, is this a nationwide system, did I hear you say? And then we just populate it with the Illinois requirements if you type in that zip code. If I was to type in a Colorado zip code, would it come up with Colorado law?
Well, actually, it would tell you where to go for Colorado law.
Okay.
It wouldn't come up with Colorado law.
Okay.
So the top, all the information on here was written by Illinois lawyers, pro bono lawyers, legal aid lawyers.
Fantastic.
And it's reviewed for readability so that all the information is written at the 5th grade reading level. And for those terms, legal terms, for instance, that cannot be written at the 5th grade level.
Right.
They'll be highlighted in blue with an underline, and you can click on those, and then you can get a common sense definition. Interesting.
What is it? This is free for anyone to sign on to and use, but what did you charge Sangamon County to allow us on your system?
Nothing.
You're wonderful.
Yeah.
So the taxpayers didn't pay anything for this.
No,
This
no.
is something that's strictly, other than what we paid for the computer to have the self-help center established. This was, as you said, all good folks in the legal system working together to help their brother out in a legal situation.
Well, Illinois Legal Aid Online receives money from the Lawyers Trust Fund and from some money from the Attorney General, or not the Attorney General Assembly, through the Illinois Equal Justice Foundation. And my organization, which is separate from the group that develops this, receives money from the Illinois Bar Foundation and also from the Lawyers Trust Fund as Illinois. But for the individual counties, there's no charge. It's just getting it set up. And then actually, in many counties, we give small grants to help people get them set up.
How many counties have this?
Right now, 54.
54. That's wonderful. So you've got more than half then.
Right, more than half.
Okay.
I just wanted to show you another automated form, and which was developed right here in Illinois. And what's the zip code?
62702. That's the zip code of this building.
And hit search. And here you'll see again, we have 486 top pieces of content that came up.
Wow.
But we're going to go right to this guide, me changing your name in Illinois. Again, the same sort of thing. You need to read through these things, but we're going to go right to the forms and letters. And now you see this is a name change form, and you'll see next to it A2J, which means access to justice. And this particular kind of automated form was developed at Chicago Kent Law School, and is more graphic, graphic interface. Again, we have to go to the same locations again get on the server.
You have to agree to the terms of use.
And then this will pop up and it will show you in a few seconds, I hope.
Now again, if you don't have a computer system at home or access to the internet at home, you can come to the library in your town, as an example, and type in our website, sangamoncountycircuitclerk.org, or come to our office and we'll let you have access to the self-help center computer there.
Yes. And you really need high-speed internet access because the videos and automated forms really don't work very well.
Right.
So
So
here
if you've got dial-up, it's probably not going to work. You've got to have some serious...
Here's the other thing, and this is you see the courthouse in the back, and these are the steps that you're going to take. Again, it's the same sort of thing. Answer one question at a time, and you'll move along. And if you don't answer the question correctly, or for some reason you're not eligible, for instance, if you're committed to certain kinds of felonies, you can't change your name in Illinois, it won't let you go forward. So that's the other kind of automated form. But this is a very rich source of information, legal information for people to use.
Fantastic. And again, it's no charge, and it answers the most commonly asked questions in many areas of law. Divorce, child support, name changes, whatever. This is fabulous, and again, I can't tell you, this really fills that gap of that we don't provide here, and it's good souls like you that make this happen. All right, what else do we need to know about this system? I mean,
there are also some non-court forms on here.
Okay.
For instance, durable powers of attorney. There's now a whole new series of videos for senior issues, and so there are all sorts
grandchildren issues.
Grandchildren.
How about wills, things like that?
Well, there's some information on wills, powers of attorney, as I said, living wills, all that. There's just a rich variety of information.
Interesting, and it's of no cost, which is something that's very important to a lot of our viewers. Now I realize it is designed to assist low-income individuals who might not otherwise have access to the court system, and it's a big help to them. But what about, can they fill in of course anyone can have access to it, and the legal documents are just as legal for them, but my point is, are there things on there like, can you fill out a will on this thing?
Yes, you can. We'll give you information on a simple will.
Okay.
It does not have more complicated problems. For instance, on the divorce, if you own property, have real